Imagine settling down for a weekend of gaming, only to find that the PlayStation Network, PSN, has left you stranded. This past weekend, that nightmare became a reality for millions of PlayStation users worldwide. According to the official PSN Network Status page, the disruption began early Saturday at 12 a.m. UK time. Players across PS3, PS Vita, PS4, and PS5 faced a plethora of issues, including trouble with account management, signing in, game streaming, and purchasing games, and, most frustratingly, even playing their games. When such outages occur, most gamers brace themselves for multiplayer modes to be unavailable or online-only games to stop functioning. However, this particular outage took a devastating turn, impacting even single-player digital games due to modern PlayStation consoles' reliance on verifying game licenses online. For nearly 24 hours, PlayStation consoles became nothing more than expensive paperweights, and what initially seemed like a technical hiccup spiraled into a full-blown crisis for Sony. Historically speaking, this event now ranks as the second largest PSN outage ever, second only to the infamous 2011 breach that left the network offline for 24 consecutive days. The financial repercussions are colossal, with millions of dollars lost by the hour. But what's even more alarming is the timing, a weekend when most gamers finally find time to play. It's safe to say that frustration among the gaming community reached a boiling point. Before we dive deeper into the details, if you're passionate about gaming news and want to stay updated on the latest developments, don't forget to subscribe to What's Up Nerd Insider and click that notification bell. We've got you covered with the most comprehensive breakdowns on gaming, anime, movies, and all things nerdy. A storm of outages and public outcry. As reports poured in from regions like North America, Europe, Asia, and Latin America, the magnitude of the issue became clear. PSN's official status page flagged widespread errors across all major systems. Account management, gameplay, social features, and even the PlayStation Store were completely inaccessible. For a generation dominated by digital gaming, this was a colossal blow. What makes this even more infuriating is the impact on physical game owners. While digital gamers rely on online validation, physical game discs are supposed to offer a fail-safe against such issues. But this outage proved otherwise. Users reported that even physical copies of games couldn't bypass the system's dependency on PSN for authentication. One particularly vocal Twitter user, GR Graham Brand, highlighted this issue, stating that his PS5 Pro couldn't even load games from physical discs. The console was essentially bricked. This raises a critical discussion about the dependency on online validation systems. Why own a game or console if you can't even use it offline? Events like these underline the vulnerabilities of modern gaming and the need for alternative solutions. The sentiment across social media echoed a deep sense of frustration, with gamers from all corners of the globe demanding answers and accountability from Sony. For instance, gaming forums lit up with users recounting their own horror stories during the outage. From missed gaming sessions with friends to disrupted tournaments, the impact stretched far beyond individual players. Some even began sharing screenshots of error codes flooding their screens, a grim reminder of the network's collapse. These conversations didn't just highlight the outage's scope, but also ignited debates on whether digital gaming's dependence on online infrastructure was sustainable in the long term. The sabotage theory, fact or fiction? Adding fuel to the fire are rumors that this outage may have been an act of intentional sabotage. Social media users quickly drew connections to a significant event that occurred just days before the outage. On February 7th, PlayStation reportedly laid off several employees, including developers working on Sony's online infrastructure. Some speculate that one of these ex-employees, disgruntled by their termination, may have tampered with PSN as an act of revenge. The evidence is circumstantial but intriguing. Oscar Diaz, a former PlayStation game systems engineer, publicly shared news of his team's layoffs on February 5th. Coincidentally, Sony had also announced a partnership with SN Systems, a third-party provider of developer tools, suggesting internal redundancies. Could a former employee have exploited their access to deliver a calculated blow to Sony over the weekend? If true, this would mark a serious case of industrial sabotage and cybercrime, potentially leading to legal repercussions for the perpetrator. Sony, for its part, has been relatively tight-lipped. The company issued a brief statement apologizing for the inconvenience and attributing the outage to an operational issue. This vague explanation does little to quell speculation, leaving many questions unanswered. While industrial sabotage might sound like a plotline from a spy thriller, the lack of transparency from Sony has done little to dispel such rumors. Industry analysts have also weighed in, pointing out that the timing of the outage, so close to these layoffs, is difficult to ignore. While it's possible this was a coincidence, some experts believe that such an extensive outage suggests insider knowledge of the system's weaknesses. Cybersecurity professionals argue that if sabotage were indeed the cause, Sony's internal protocols and safeguards must be scrutinized. A crisis of trust and the cost of gaming. This outage has reignited debates over the cost and reliability of PSN services. PlayStation users already pay a premium for services like PlayStation Plus Essential, $278 annually, Extra, $475, and Deluxe, $538. Yet during this outage, even offline functionality was stripped away. For many, this raises the question, is it worth paying such high fees for a service that's so susceptible to failure? The broader implications of this crisis extend beyond financial losses. Gamers are now questioning the fundamental structure of online gaming ecosystems. Should digital purchases and physical game ownership rely so heavily on online validation? This outage served as a stark reminder of how fragile these systems can be. Even if the sabotage theory proves false, Sony faces mounting criticism for its reliance on online validation systems. Gamers are demanding answers and compensation for the disruption. Will Sony step up and offer refunds or free subscription extensions to affected users? Only time will tell. However, many gamers feel that an apology isn't enough. They want tangible changes to the way PlayStation consoles and games operate offline. Meanwhile, competitors like Xbox and Nintendo have an opportunity to capitalize on Sony's misstep. Both companies have also faced network outages in the past, but have generally avoided the level of backlash Sony is experiencing now. If Sony doesn't take decisive action to restore trust, it could see a shift in its user base. Moving forward, lessons from the outage. While PSN services have now been restored, this incident leaves a lingering question mark over the future of online gaming. Sony must address the systemic flaws exposed by this outage and find ways to ensure that players can access their games, both digital and physical, even during network disruptions. For starters, Sony could consider implementing offline mode enhancements, allowing users to access their purchased games without requiring constant online validation. Other suggestions from the gaming community include creating backup servers or investing in more robust cybersecurity measures to prevent future incidents. This outage also highlights the need for transparency. Companies like Sony must do a better job of communicating with their user base during crises. Clear, timely updates could go a long way in reducing frustration and speculation. For now, the ball is in Sony's court to make amends and rebuild trust with its loyal fan base. As always, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic. Do you think Sony will learn from this and improve their systems? And what's your take on the sabotage theory? Share your opinions in the comments below, and let's keep the discussion going. Remember to subscribe to What's Up Nerd Insider for more deep dives into gaming's biggest stories. If you're looking for in-depth reviews, trending news, and all things nerdy, hit that subscribe button and join the Insider community. Together, we can navigate the ever-changing world of gaming, anime, and movies. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and as always, happy gaming.